No banga bali one for back bali one fede on taco boom yeah do ya banama no banga bali one to go manga bali one to
Good day from Monrovia, Liberia. Welcome to Citizens Agenda. Citizens Agenda is a 30-minute package that seeks to improve citizens' access to information through community radio content syndication. It is a production of the Association of Liberia Community Radio, ALICO. I am your presenter, Florence Flomo. Coming up in this edition, we will be taking you across Liberia for news highlights from the counties. In the headlines, the administration of the only hospital in Grand Cru County makes a clarion call for help as the facility reportedly runs out of essential medical supplies. Babolu County Elections Magistrate commends the attitude of the citizens towards the various activities leading to the conduct of the October 10 elections. And the United Nations Development Program and partners reaffirmed their commitment to work with the media to promote a culture of peace and democracy ahead of the 2023 general and presidential elections. These plus a lot more are coming up in this edition of Citizens Agenda. Please stay tuned. I will be right back. Welcome back to the program. We begin with a story from the southeastern Liberia, where administration of the Raleigh Hospital in Grand Cru County is making a clarion call for assistance as the county's lone hospital is reported to be running out of essential medical supplies. Our contributor in Grand Cru County is Christopher Kumen. He fills us in with a report.
Speaking in an interview with reporters recently, the hospital pharmacist Victor Tama said the county's only referral hospital ran out of essential medical drugs, something which, according to him, is a serious health emergency, not only to the hospital administration, but to the patient who goes to seek medical attention. Mr. Tamba said at this point in time, the hospital is rallying support from the government, including non-governmental and other international organizations, to come to the aid of the hospital. Tamba pointed out that there is a need for intervention to address the health emergency.
The essential drugs, those drugs that the patient receive on a daily basis when they come to the hospital, they are out of stock. So right now we are calling on the county caucus to come to the aid of the hospital. We're calling on the county caucus from the top, from our honorable Senator Protein. At least they can, talk and fast track our allotment, because the hospital is, we don't have partner to support our hospital. We depend on government allotment. So this is a call.
At the same time, the hospital has re-emphasized on its services to patients. According to the physician assistant at the hospital, Tia Beniko Wea, The hospital has CIU patients based on their medical conditions, indicating that only emergency cases are accepted on a daily basis.
For emergency at the hospital, we expect emergency at any time.
Anytime, every day.
Every day, we expect emergency. But those specific cases where maybe you had that accident and we saw you, we need to do a follow-up for you. So you come back on either Tuesday or you come back on Friday. We can still see you.
For her part, Dorothy Dwyer, nurse anesthetic assigned at the hospital, encouraged patients to take advantage. She said Raritan Hospital performs different surgical procedures for many surgical conditions.
So my people, as you are listening to us here now, we are encouraging you when you have a problem, do not wait for only when it comes to emergency before you come to the hospital.
For Citizen Agenda, reporting from Green Cook County, my name is Christopher Kuman.
We now move to Gbagbudu County in Western Liberia, where elections magistrate for the county has commended the cooperation of citizens during the voters' exhibition process. In an exclusive interview in Bobolu City with Henry Boloma, Ernest Mackay said the level of commitment and enthusiasm shown by the people to the process was a manifestation of the desire to help promote a culture of democracy in the country.
As you are aware, the process started on the 12th and ended on the 17th. And we want to again extend our thanks and appreciation to all of our citizens, our chiefs, elders, our school authorities for their generosity, for giving us the opportunity to use our premises to carry on this work. As it relates to the process, we want to say the process went on fine. And as you may be aware, the issue of exhibition is one of the steps that lead to the process of elections. And so, like we always did, we encourage our people to turn out to ensure that they have all the necessary corrections based on the provisional rule, so that if there's any mistake or any changes that they think they should be made, they needed to do it as quick as possible. Again, we did that through your medium, and we encourage them, and we want to say thanks to our citizens who took up the challenge to come and view whatever they on the roster.
Okay. Do you have a clear understanding of how many persons took advantage?
We will not be able to give you the clear data right now because, as you may be aware, some of our people just returned yesterday from far distances. We're talking about Fasama, District 2, we're talking about Kolobani and other areas they just came. We're talking about District 3, some of them just came. And so for now, we are trying to compile our report and make sure that this report are sent back to our head office.
The senior elections magistrate of Gbagbudu County, Ernest Mankey. Still in Western Liberia, we cross over to Bomi County, where the United Nations Development Program has reassured its commitment to working with the media to help Liberia conduct free, fair, and transparent elections. And the UNDP Capacity Development Specialist emphasized the significance of the media in actualizing this goal. Speaking at a training for the Liberian journalists in Tomeburg, Bomi County, Zaki Post encouraged journalists in Liberia to consider peace as the idea of fostering democracy at the center of their reports during this electoral period. Also speaking, the coordinator of the Female Journalists Association of Liberia, Seattle Scout Johnson, encouraged her colleagues to highlight the significance of peace, development, and democracy during their coverage of the electoral process.
This workshop is intended to not only build our capacity, but to have us making commitments and pledging that we as journalists, as media practitioners, will ensure of peaceful elections. ensure peaceful elections in the way we conduct ourselves as journalists, in the way we report stories surrounding the elections, in the way we provide platforms to politicians, in the way we govern the talk shows that politicians will be invited on. We cannot overly emphasize that the peace, the stability, and everything that Liberia needs to move forward is on the shoulders of the media. We know the role we play as journalists, and that because of the roles we play as journalists, that's the reason why Liberia is depending on us to ensure peaceful elections. So we want to say, let's stay in the room, let's be present, let's apply what we've learned, and let's commit ourselves to ensuring peaceful elections and making sure that the public, that Liberia gets the best out of us.
The coordinator of the Female Journalists Association of Liberia, Seattle Scout Johnson. For his part, the commissioner with oversight on communication at the National Elections Commission, Boakai Dukley, recounted the role of traditional communicators in peace building and democracy. Commissioner Dukley cited the roles of the town crier as sending out messages of peace and harmony in traditional Liberian communities.
The significance of the town crier, the significance of the talking drum in the African village is what we need to be thinking about. We are going to a very crucial historical point in our nation since the war. And I have been at the National Elections Commission since 2010. So I have seen radio stations announcing results that they did not have. And I say they did not have because only the National Elections Commission can announce results. Whether you went to a polling center and got results from there, it is better to wait for the announcement from the National Elections Commission, because you have the ability to cause chaos by making announcements that may inflame the situation. You also have the ability to make peace. You have the ability to make peace. And this, you now have to choose whether you want to create instability in the country or you want to create peace. And I believe you create peace by speaking truthfully, speaking truth to power. And this is the reason why you are meeting, so that you can receive, sometimes they call it training, but I call it reminder. So you will be reminded of your really civic responsibility to the nation. You have a responsibility when you choose to be in the press. You have a responsibility to maintain stability in the country. You have a responsibility to speak truth to power. You have a responsibility not to cause chaos. You will have the right, maybe you're sitting at Puma station and you broadcast. To tell you the truth, I hear you from as far as Totota. So your responsibility when you are sitting before the microphone, don't think about the prestige you now have. Think about the impact your message is going to have on the stability, reconciliation, and peace of our country.
The Commissioner with oversight on communication at the National Elections Commission, Boakai Dukley.
Nabanga bali wani bawa bawa bagi bali wani fede anta kubu mumje adudu ya bana. Nabanga bali wani toma, gogo manga bali wani toma.
If you are just joining us, this is a reminder that you are listening to Citizens Agenda. Citizens Agenda is a 30-minute package that seeks to improve citizens' access to information through community radio content syndication. It is a production of the Association of Liberia Community Radio, ALICO. Coming up in the next round of stories in this edition, we have story on the lives and challenges of commercial motorcyclists in Maghibie County. People in Sanikweli in Nima County are taking matters into their hands by cleaning up their surroundings. These plus other developments making up the second batch of stories on Citizens Agenda. Please stay tuned. I will be back with more developments on Citizen Agenda. Welcome back to Citizens Agenda. Ever since the end of the Civil War in Liberia, the running of commercial motorcycle, or pimping as they are referred to, has become a way of life for many young people. In fact, transportation regulators have considered that commercial motorcycling is now a mainstay in the transportation sector of the country. So as these young people run these bikes or pimping on a daily basis, what does it do for them? This was one of the few questions our reporter Elwa Kwali sought to find out as he files this report.
It is a hot afternoon here at the Bunk Mines parking in Kakata, the provincial capital of Maghibie County. Motorcyclists here are sitting on their bikes, waiting patiently for the next customer. The commercial motorcycle sector is huge for the Liberian economy and also for security. Many jobless young people see this sector as a means of survival. Culture in Crisis survey indicates there are over 75,000 of them across the country. Commercial motorcycle activities emerged after Liberia's civil war as a critical economic activity. It provides cyclists with economic livelihood opportunities and constitutes a space for social, political youth mobilization. At the emergence of this sector more than a decade ago, many of the youth involved with it boasted of making enough money to take care of their families. But it now seems such glorious days are things of the past. Joseph Akram, 35, has been engaged with commercial motorcycling for more than 10 years. With his head repeatedly in sign of desperation, he paints a picture of how things are now changing.
The motorbike ride before, where we used to have customers, it's not happening again because now the financial strength is getting low. They give you a tough time and people not traveling again. Like before, sometimes we used to get 5,000 a day, but for now, to even get 1,890, my brother. So now you even be 800 to just go.
Many of those who are in the business sometimes make ambitious plans for the future. Some have been successful in buying cars, while others can boast of building homes for their families. But Jeremiah Z28 said the growing wave of motorcyclists and the current economic situation in the country has changed the narratives.
For me, I plan to 2023, I need to buy land to start paying 1 or 2 rooms for myself. But when end of 2023, things are very, very rampant. Even though you make 2,000 by day, you're not seeing you can't get it.
For Cyrus Bablo, commercial motorcycling no more brings the smiles of the past, but he fairly understands why.
For me, I understand in my own way that things not looking at before, for now, the motorbike we're having, it's getting much. So as long as it's getting much, things will be hard and the traffic will be so difficult.
It is not too easy to be a cyclist in rural Liberia. These Kakata motorcyclists take passengers to some of the remote parts of Maigibi and rural Monserrado County. One thing that the cyclists seem to agree with is that the business is a temporary one, and it is important for young people who are involved with commercial motorcycle activities to seek alternative livelihood for the future.
I went to driving school and I just graduated. I gave me a certificate. I was certificate there. So I'm thinking to leave the motorcycle to leave the motorbike field.
I can tell anyone, young friend, I say motorbike is not a picture thing for you to depend on.
From bustling streets of Kakata, we now move to the calmer environment on the campus of the Booker Washington Institute, BWI, in Maigibi County. The institution, which is largely rated as Liberia's foremost technical and vocational institution, recently celebrated its 94th Founders Day. Serving as the keynote speaker was the former head of Liberia's Public Procurement and Concession Commission, Councillor Roslyn Nangbe Kowo, who used the occasion to recommend policy reforms that will help ensure the technical and vocational training is a part of the academic curriculum of schools in Liberia.
But this school is very important, and this institute has been here for 94 years. It's a proud. It means that this is a foundational institute that all Liberians should be proud of. All Liberians should be proud of the Booker Washington Institute. What was the essence of BWI? The essence of the formation of Booker Washington Institute. It was to train young professionals, train the youth to be able to contribute to Liberia's construction and development. So it has been operating for many years. I've just heard that we are one of the 10 best schools in the world. You know what I mean? With all our challenges and everything that we're facing here education-wise, if we rate it, so it means that BWI is doing well. People are doing something that you need to transfer to other institutions. Seriously, because I know there were criteria that was standard set, you know what I mean, from so many jurisdictions. You are counted, Booker Washington Institute, you are counted among the 10 best in the world. That is something that we should be proud of, yes. So you've been operating for a while, long time, 94 years, and you've been contributing to the growth of many Liberians in various technical and vocational capacities. That's the beauty of graduating from Booker Washington Institute. You don't just graduate academically, you also carry professionalism with you, yes, and you also carry some skill. Saying out to the public that we should have a national policy so that we can integrate the BWI model into the curriculum of all high schools in this country, in every single county. Having this kind of institute that has been fundamental to growth academically and to vocational education, it has to be supported. And we all have to rally around, state has to rally around BWI so that we can continue to propagate that particular history and actually be able to attain the developmental agenda that Booker T. Washington wanted for this school when he came with that idea in Tuskegee, right? In Tuskegee. So it's very important that we continue that agenda. And I believe what I'm hearing today and what I'm seeing in the energy, I believe that BWI is on the right path. And let's continue to be on that path. National economic growth is important, and we will be able to feel phenomenally the growth of our state if we do this constructively. And I'm saying it because I want our policy makers to be able to make that recommendation to states.
The former head of Liberia's Public Procurement and Concession Commission, Councillor Roslyn Nangbe Kowo. On to Nima County, where it seems that people of the provisional capital of Sanikoli are taking matters into their own hands to ensure the cleanliness of the city. Our contributor Jerome Say reports the people are being led by a local group organized by a son of the city.
It is a very busy afternoon in Sanikoli City, Nima County. Sanikoli City is the political capital of Nima, As it is with every city in the world, the cleanliness of Saniqually remains the paramount concern of its residents. The residents of the city have tried to keep their surroundings clean. They have used several methods. Those methods have all failed. One local NGO, Nature is Life Environmental, says it is the ultimate solution to the filthiness of Saniqually. The group, with funding from the United Nations Development Program (UNDP), has embarked on the cleanliness of the city. Princeton G. Quia is the site supervisor of Nature is Life Environmental. The 23-year-old supervisor says with sponsorship from UNDP, his organization is capable of cleaning this historical city of Nemba. He says his group is ambitious of extending its operations to other cities in Nemba like Kample, Bam, Yekepa, Ganta, among others.
Our sponsor, which is UNDP, which is sponsoring this organization to see how best we can clean Saniqually City. This group is not just limited to Saniqually City. So we are in Saniqually for first phase. We have to do it in 8 months. After the 8-month period, then we'll be extending to another city.
The supervisor expects that at the end of this project, Saniqually will be clean. Quia wants to see that Saniqually is beautified.
We have all come with one vision to clean Saniqually City. Saniqually City, historical city of Nemba, is one of the historical cities of Liberia. So as such, we should treat it with care.
Speaking about why Saniqually was selected first among the many cities in Nemba, Princeton G. Quia says Saniqually is in an urgent need of cleanliness.
We are seeing that there's a need. With every environment or everything you do for a community, there should be a need. They are all in need, but at this time, Saniqually is in need.
Princeton G. Quia calls on young people of the county to join in his organization's fight in cleaning Saniqually. He appreciates the young ones who are already with his group. He describes their moves as patriotism. Clarice Z. Logan, 22, wants others to stop making mockery of them. According to the 22-year-old young lady, most of her friends can tell them that the work they do is not serious. She wants her peers to join them and make Saniqually clean. Clarice knows that it is better to clean the city than stealing.
The work we are doing, mostly some people can say that we sweeping on the road, we not get work to do, and they're not a good work that we're supposed to do. But sometimes in life, anywhere, you see yourself that you're supposed to do. So
the street cleaning is taking young people from the street and putting money in their pockets. According to Clarice, there is a need for young girls to take advantage of this work. Clarice feels that cleaning the street is preferable to stealing.
Yeah, what I got to tell the young girls, as for me, this work is preferable for me because now when I sit down, I get no work to do. So I think this work is very, very preferable for we the young girls. We need to do it for us to move on the street.
Another girl who is working for the local NGO is Joyce A. Cooper. Joyce A. Cooper, 22, says the group will make sure to give a facelift to Saniqually.
Trying to clean the city, although we are not perfectly done it yet, but we are trying to do it. We divided a group into 3. When we come every morning, some will go Bonasa compound, others go Toki Quarter. Then we will take the road leading to the Kobacho Fee.
Nature is Life Environmental, a local organization founded in 2022 in Saniqually, says it is committed to cleaning the environment of Saniqually. Reporting for Aliko Citizens Agenda from Nemba, I am Jerome C.
The news of the passage of the Drugs and Substance Abuse Law by the Liberian legislature has been greeted with enthusiasm in the southeastern Rivers County. According to the new law, drugs dealers, cultivators, and manufacturers are not eligible for bail until their trial is completed, and if found guilty, they will be sentenced to life imprisonment. Members of the 54th legislature voted to enact several amendments to Liberia's drugs law, making most offenses non-bailable. With this new law being passed by the legislature, some residents of Fishtown in Rivers County have been sharing their excitements with Citizens Agenda.
I came across the information some hours ago. I was like in my room, turned on my radio and listening to a reporter this morning confirming the joint work by both houses that they have agreed and signed, and through concurrence, a law, that the Liberian people are long been waiting for, and it's before the death of the president for his signature. And so I was like joyfully, smiling in my comfort zone, because can you imagine young people, future leaders, Liberia next hopes are the people who today, are the victim of the drugs that is being imported in our country. And so I was glad, and I extended also a phone in my car on the radio and extended my appreciation to.
When I got the information this morning that there's a law signed and it is before the president, I was excited because in recent time, we all, try to wonder as to why the just is taking over the young people of this country who are to be the future leaders, young people who Liberia is depending on, that will keep diving into the issue of drugs consumption. All right, and so we think this law is going to help us a lot. We look forward to seeing the implementation of whatever penalties that is in the law that is to be signed by the president. And this is a real truth. The drugs activities in our country now is affecting the young people, is diverting our young people from prospect decision making to just going to just activity, and more especially our frustrated with the new form of drug that we are hearing about now called kuch, how it damage our people, how it kill our people, and the reaction to it is so fast, so how is our people working to reduce the issue of this drugs that is taking over our country? And surprisingly to me, not knowing that our legislature are already thinking on that to reduce it, to minimize it, they were putting those documents together now to resolve into a bill that it will be signed by the president being attained to law.
Well, that's it for this edition of Citizens Agenda, a program that seeks to improve citizens' access to information through community radio content syndication. But before we go, here is a recap of the stories we have been following. The administration of the Une Hospital in Grand Cru County has made a clarion call for help as facility reportedly runs out of essential medical supplies. Babolu County Elections Magistrate has commended the attitude of the citizens towards the various activities leading to the conduct of the October 10 elections, and the United Nations Development Program and partners have reaffirmed their commitment to work with the media to promote a culture of peace and democracy ahead of the 2023 general and presidential elections. Join us next time for a brand new edition. On behalf of the entire team at the National Information Dissemination Center, I have been Florence Flomo, wishing you a very good day.